Biomedical engineering is where human biology meets cutting-edge robotics. It requires designing the prosthetics, the neural interfaces, and the artificial organs of tomorrow. For years, Zimbabwean students relied on a simple promise: scoring 15 points at A-level, particularly in challenging subjects like mathematics and biology, guaranteed admission into top-tier university programs. The rules for the University of Zimbabwe's August intake have changed. For high-stakes programs like engineering, medicine, and law, the university introduced mandatory psychometric tests and oral interviews as a strict screening mechanism. This chart shows the Faculty of Science entry requirements. To even qualify for the H-Bioengineering program, which is the Bachelor of Science honors degree in biomedical engineering, you need 3 A-level passes, with mathematics and biology being mandatory. The country produces far more 15-point students than there are available seats. With thousands of applicants tied at the top of the academic scale, the university needed a new metric to eliminate candidates. A perfect academic transcript no longer secures a seat. It merely grants permission to face the true bottleneck, a rigorous assessment of fluid intelligence and abstract logic. The biomedical engineering program has a severely limited capacity, yet a massive volume of highly qualified candidates apply every year, competing for a fraction of the available spots. You start with a massive pool of straight-A applicants pouring into the top of the admissions funnel from the ZimSec and Cambridge boards. But right here at the psychometric filter, that massive pool is choked off. Only a tiny fraction emerges as accepted students. A-levels test crystallized knowledge, facts and formulas memorized over 2 years. Psychometric tests measure fluid intelligence, the capacity to solve completely new, unexpected problems on the fly. Most applicants attempt to crack an unfamiliar logic test by doubling down on their high school textbooks and memorizing even more equations. Using familiar study methods for a psychometric filter is a massive misallocation of a candidate's most precious resource: time. The first major preparation trade-off is deciding how much time to spend reviewing familiar A-level biology and mathematics. Many fall into the biology trap, finding it comfortable to review complex, multi-step cellular pathways because that behavior was rewarded in high school. The interview panels ask rapid-fire, surface-level trivia, like asking you to quickly define meiosis. Meiosis is a type of cell division that reduces the number of chromosomes by half, creating 4 genetically distinct cells. You need broad, fast recall of basic definitions, not deep dives. For the quantitative section, the psychometric test strips away advanced calculus and trigonometry, replacing them entirely with numerical reasoning. This chart shows the shift in cognitive demand. You move from solving complex mathematical proofs to interpreting raw data under severe time constraints. You must evaluate raw tables, financial graphs, and employment statistics, extracting the right numbers quickly. Candidates must sacrifice the satisfaction of solving deep theorems to sit down with a basic calculator and practice basic arithmetic under extreme time pressure. Abandoning advanced formulas to drill basic data tables yields the highest return on investment for your preparation time. Then comes the most alien component of the UZ screening, the abstract and spatial reasoning sections. These are entirely nonverbal tests. They test recognizing structural patterns, sequence abstract shapes, and mentally rotate 3D objects. Designers deliberately clutter sequences with irrelevant visual information to force incorrect conclusions. You must critically evaluate your hypotheses as the pattern progresses. Ultimately, to design human prosthetics, you need the spatial capacity to mentally manipulate 3D structures. The psychological trade-off is difficult. You must endure the severe early frustration of failing logic puzzles, rather than enjoying the comfortable validation of rereading a textbook. Commit to 20 minutes of targeted, daily spatial reasoning drills. When you get a question wrong, find out exactly why. Abstract reasoning operates as the ultimate equalizer. It bypasses your previous schooling to measure your raw capacity to evaluate evidence on the fly. Execution depends entirely on how you practice. You must accurately simulate the test environment. Practicing these tests without a time limit creates a false illusion of competence. Anyone can solve a geometric pattern if given an hour to stare at it. The stress simulation method is the only valid way to drill psychometric frameworks. You have to train your brain to identify the right framework before the clock runs out. When you are severely constrained by a ticking clock, cognitive load spikes, and it is incredibly easy for your mind to go entirely blank. Strip your study space down to the bare minimum. Use only a basic calculator, a few sheets of scratch paper, and a harsh countdown timer. After every drill, immediately review your incorrect answers. You have to reverse engineer the hidden logic while the problem is still fresh in your mind. Building a psychological tolerance to time-induced panic is equally as important as mastering the shape sequences themselves. Finally, candidates face the in-person oral interview component of the UC screening process. Many candidates over-prepare for complex technical grilling, expecting professors to ask them to solve advanced physics problems on a whiteboard. The actual objective of the interview is much simpler. The panel tests clear communication, social confidence, and foundational recall under direct scrutiny. The panel evaluates two archetypes fighting for admission: the rigid memorizer who panics at an unexpected prompt versus the adaptable candidate who stays calm and answers directly. To be the adaptable candidate, shift your preparation. Replace deep textbook reading with a surface-level biology review. Commit to timed numerical drills, and execute daily abstract logic practice. Access online psychometric tests. Isolate yourself with a timer, and begin the uncomfortable process of pattern recognition. Academic perfection at the A-level merely buys the ticket. Mastering the psychometric filter is how you actually claim the seat.